Do you keep hearing voices in your head? Perhaps it is your own voice, or perhaps someone else's voice, maybe even someone else that you know, or things that keep repeating within your mind again and again and again of the conversations that you had in the day. If so, we want to talk about ways that you can deal with that. So hello everyone, my name is Autumn Asphodel, and I am a coach to help you live your best life and find your true purpose. And you can schedule a free consultation over at autumasphodel.com/coaching. And today's video is about how you can deal with voices in your head. So enjoy the video. Do you have voices in your head that hinder your life? Do they say negative, hateful things that make you doubt yourself and feel down? Or maybe the voices are of the interactions you had that day, replaying in your mind, or a variety of other things. If you have any inner dialogue that is interfering with your life, then there is a reason you have these voices and things you can do about it. First, let's talk about the origin of the voices you're having. It can vary greatly and be caused by multiple things. For voices that tend to be negative and doubtful, then they often stem from childhood trauma. Perhaps your parents made you feel as though you were never good enough and always put you down. You then encapsulate their personality into your mind and you hear their voice, sowing doubt within you no matter what you do. It may not even sound like them, but these voices are caused by the abuse. Similarly, you may hear voices of past abusers, not necessarily your parents or people in your life presently that cause you a lot of stress. Other voices you may hear are what happened during the day, conversations you had, music you listened to. This will play back like you recorded it in your mind, often very clear, and may overlap with other voices where it sounds like many people are in your head. It may sound like racing thoughts. This happens because your subconscious becomes susceptible during the time the dialogue was happening. For instance, you may have the TV or videos on in the background while you're working and it enters into your subconscious mind. Consciously, you may not even remember what you're listening to, but it gets trapped in your subconscious and it may come out and unwind during times that you're more relaxed, such as when you're trying to sleep. You hear these thoughts play out as if you're actually listening to them now, not just background audio, but any dialogue or sound that becomes part of your subconscious when you get into a susceptible and suggestible state. This can be during times of intense stress and anxiety, where you're physically and mentally unwell, like a cold or sickness, and depression, and anything else that brings you down. The voices are then trapped in your subconscious, binding and coiling up and must be released. The more stressed you are, the more it begins to constrict you. You may notice that the voices are especially noticeable when you're in a more relaxed state, such as trying to go to sleep. When you hear voices in your head, it could stem from other people's voices, perhaps exactly the way that they sound, or it may not sound like them at all, but it could have the types of things that they say in the voice. So if you had a parent, if you had a mother, a father that was very disrespectful to you, that always brought you down, that whenever you would try on like new clothing, they would always say how ugly it was on you, or any of the other myriad of things to bring you down. Or maybe you don't live with your parents anymore, maybe they have passed away, but you keep hearing that voice. You get some clothing and say, oh, you're going to look fat in that clothing. Oh, you're going to look terrible. You're already ugly. You can't get a well-paying job. You're going to amount to nothing. And you just keep hearing those voices in your head, sowing doubt within you and making you feel bad. Even if it doesn't exactly sound like your parents, it is their voice telling you. So there's many different ways and things that you can do to be able to deal with that. But the first thing you have to do is recognize where it's coming from. Who are the people doing it and why is it happening? So how do you deal with these voices? There are some similarities with how to properly deal with these two types of voices, but there are some major differences as well. Techniques that may work for both types of voices is relaxing auditory stimulation. You want to focus your sense of hearing on something else besides the voices. While you're not actively hearing the voices with your ears, your mind thinks it's external. So having something relaxing to listen to will use the same sense and pathway to replace the negative voices with something more positive. You can use things such as white noise generator or relaxing music in the background. Perhaps you like the sound of rainfall or water flowing. You may find that listening to sounds that vary may cause more stress, so keep it very simplistic. For instance, listening to nature sounds where there is running water, branches, birds, crickets, and so on may be too sporadic. Maybe you'll do best with a constant sound without variation. Maybe listening to a relaxing person's voice could help, like an audiobook or other audio material like a guided meditation or hypnosis recording. Furthermore, you may find that you don't like any sound at all, and earplugs would be the best. Find what works best for you. When it comes to trauma-based voices, on top of the techniques we just described, you also have to face and heal the trauma that is causing the voices. If your parents still make you doubtful within your mind, then it's a sign that you have not healed yet. Talk about your problems and learn techniques to let go of the trauma from the past to take dominance over the voices instead of them controlling you. When it comes to the playback of voices from dialogue you heard today, be mindful of the noises around you that may be going into your subconscious. Practice some relaxation techniques to prevent you from being overly stressed and take the voices into your mind for playback later. We've all heard voices in our head at one point or another. Everyone has voices and inner dialogue daily, and we don't consider that a problem. The difference is when many people think voices in your head have to be someone else. But it could just be your own voice, judging you or saying rude things. It may sound like you, but you don't have to take what is said personally. Reducing stress and properly dealing with trauma are two of the most important things you can do to eliminate the voices in your head that are preventing you from relaxing, sleeping, and being successful. Once you have done these things and replaced the negative, distracting voices with something more positive and welcoming, then your key to success and happiness has been found. Let me know how this works for you. Have a great day. The types of voices that I have had have been that type of doubt from bullies, from parents that are, very abusive, and a variety of other things. I've had that doubt. But more recently, the types of voices that I may end up hearing also are things throughout the day. It's really interesting. When I've been sick before and I've been, in a, more suggestible state, I'll hear commercials or sounds playing in the background, and it's almost like they absorb into my subconscious mind, and when I'm trying to go to sleep, they will replay themselves exactly as I heard them, and it's incredibly annoying because they start to overlap. There's multiple different commercials playing at once, different sounds and music playing all at once, and it is very, very annoying. But the best thing you can do, distract yourself with some other type of noise. Play some music. What I find personally is something that is very calm and even. If I'm trying to relax and go to sleep, I find that if it's a steady sound, like a hum, something that is very, very consistent, that is more helpful to me than something that varies. Like if I'm listening to nature sounds and I'm hearing water flowing, I'd rather just hear that water flowing as is. I'd rather not hear variations with how it's doing it, but just the water itself, nothing else. So that is what ends up helping me. You got to find what helps you the best though. Be sure to check out the amazing merchandise over at Asphodel Shop for some inspiring designs. I'm sure you'll find something amazing. Also become a member, $5 up and above will get you early access to new content months before it is publicly available to anyone else. I want to thank you all so very much for tuning into this video. Let me know what your thoughts are on this topic. You all take care, have a great one, and remove those voices and think clearly. Have a great one. Bye-bye.